Welcome back to another Plasticon review! Woohoo! Combiner Wars Hotspot is really interesting. I see this thing as more of an airport fire engine with a ladder attachment. This very long fire engine is a lot different than his Generation 1 counterpart. Also to note, the blue is a really powder baby blue. It's interesting that they actually picked this color here for the Western release, but it's really cool. I like the idea that you can take the ladder and extend it up and actually have a functioning ladder on this thing, let alone just a ladder that just raises up and it just straight up extends. It is an interesting sculpt, and it has really nice detail throughout the entire truck. There's little doors and windows and just lights picked out all over this thing. It does show that it would be a very massive vehicle by the size of the doors on it, but he is a really interesting vehicle. Hotspot is a really cool toy. I really do think he is probably one of the best out of the Combiner Wars when it comes to alt mode and actually torso mode. He's really cool. I do like all the detail here, and I like the idea that they did pick out Fire Rescue, but they did put a little bitty Autobot logo there with a little flame decal. This kind of reminds me a little bit of the Generation 1, where it actually just had the little bitty flame thing that just kind of came up on the door, and that's all it was. There was no emblem or anything, but there was a little fireball on the end that they could have easily slapped a G1 logo into it. And that's what's crazy about him. He really has no other Generation 1 insignias anywhere else on this alt mode. I do like it. The only thing I really kind of dislike is the fact that the light bar is just recessed so far back. This should be kind of up here or mounted here or somewhere up further. I'm a big fan of fire engines, and this is a really cool toy. It does have pretty good articulation when it comes to this, and you normally have to kind of move these two panels back in order to actually get this thing to do this. And it does have rotating ability as well, so you wouldn't be just stuck in one position with this rescue ladder. And I do actually like the idea that there is a bit of a bucket here for you to be able to easily fit a small figure in. I do like it, and it's really cool. When you finally get this guy transformed into his robot mode, it is clear that he is a big, stoic brick house of firefighting action. Hotspot looks really sick in these colors. I enjoy the palette here. There's a lot of people that really don't like this baby blue, but I really think it kind of pops on him. He does have a bit of a darker kind of red, which really kind of looks almost maroon, but I really do like what this looks like. He's got twin rifles, which could be known as fire shooting elements, but honestly, I could see these as gigantic water cannons, so you can just like blast some Decepticon in the face and knock him on his butt. I do enjoy the idea that the ladder does just stick onto the back, and the ladder is positionable. You can move it up and down in order to allow it to accommodate for several different posing options. And with the ratcheting joints he actually has, he does hold a pose fairly well. Now there are complaints about the knees on this guy, but to be honest, you can look past it because he just really has a nice aesthetic and looks really good. And that head sculpt, man, that head sculpt, it just, doesn't it remind you of a prime opportunity? Looking at Hotspot, he is just really nice. I mean, I just love how this guy looks, and that's the knee portion I was telling you about. There are some people out there that have been really hardcore just hating on this thing because of the way the knees are, but to be honest, this is probably one of the more solid figures that's come out of Combiner Wars. It's one of the best looking as far as I'm concerned, and it does hold its value. It's a very nice toy. It holds together well, and the great thing I love about it is the fact that there's no parts forming involved really, other than putting the guns onto maybe his back or shoving two of them into one hand or whatever. At least just the guns is the only thing missing on this guy. So you don't have to worry about parts forming, especially when you go into torso mode. Torso mode will, you know, just folds out from the back of it and he just caps himself over to just turn into a head, which is really cool. I love the idea that they did all this. I love the idea they integrated all the combiner head into the backpack and everything. The great thing about this thing is it is a great toy to try to get a hold of, and its price point has not gone up that much, and that is what I'm talking about. Go out there and get you one of these if you don't have one yet. I do like the idea they did sample the Autobot from right there on the center, but it's just, the colors are great, it looks awesome, and it really does scream Generation 1. It's one of the best looking combiner torsos and robots that's come out. Anyhow, this has been Plasticon. This has been yet another Combiner Wars review! I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out! Woo!